Hi, I'm Jackie,
And I'm Richard.
and we are Early Retirement Wanderlust.
We early retired 18 months ago, and one of the questions we often get asked, and a question we asked ourselves at the time was, would we get bored?
And the other thing is, how do we maintain a sense of purpose when we're actually not working? If you've never come across our YouTube channel before, a little bit of background information about us. We're Richard and Jackie. We were former teachers, teaching for over 30 years. We both retired at the age of 51. We had always intended to retire at 55. That had been our goal for many years, and that's what we were saving towards. Things that happened in 2021 with the family circumstances brought that forward a little bit.
It's a really strange feeling when you are early retired because it's something that you work towards for all of your working life, and you know that that day is coming when you are going to step away from working life and step into retirement. And there has to be, and we had a massive question of, oh wow, what happens now? Because in life we attach so much credence to our identity as a job. So when you meet people in the street, quite often one of the first questions they ask you is, what do you do? And
Yeah, now we can't say that we're teachers. And it is weird because for many, many years we were teachers. That was our persona. That's how everyone knew us.
and now we can't really answer that question. So that's a big concern for, I know, a lot of people that are moving into retirement, that loss of identity. The second thing is, how do you fill your time? And we don't have that structure of getting up and going to work anymore.
Yeah, we do get asked a lot. What do you actually do with yourselves? You're 51. What do you do? You're not working.
And tied in with that, a follow-up question that a lot of our viewers ask is, how do you maintain a sense of purpose? So it's okay being early retired and it's okay relaxing into retirement, but where do you get that drive from that you once got from work to actually get up and get going in the day? And it's a big question that we've been thinking about. So going into a little bit of theory, I love my psychology, as regular viewers would know, and there is a theory from Maslow to do with a hierarchy of needs, and that means that humans have some very basic needs that have to be fulfilled before we move on to the next stage. So for instance, if we are hungry, then it's very difficult to concentrate on anything higher up the pyramid. So we've got basic needs of shelter, water, food, and so on and so forth. As we move up, then we think about relationships and the friends that we have and maintaining those friendships. And then part of that is your working life and all of the friendships that you have and you build up throughout that working life, as well as your identity. And when that's removed, there's a huge chunk of Maslow's hierarchy of needs missing. So I guess this video is all about how we refill those needs and how we get ourselves to the higher level of self-actualization and really live a fulfilled and happy life, but without that added crutch of working for a living.
And at the moment, we definitely do achieve that. We've been retired for 18 months and we certainly are not feeling that we don't have a sense of purpose, and we're not feeling as if we're bored and we've got nothing to do.
So what we want to do is, we've done a little bit of pre-thinking about this, but to try and take you through a few of the areas that we think are really quite important in making sure that in early retirement you don't get bored, and also making sure that you have a sense of purpose within your life.
As we said, in our former life, we were both teachers and we were very, very busy teachers, and we had a real sense of purpose. We were the person that lots of parents came to for advice, the children looked up to us. Yeah, we had a real sense of being needed.
And it's a hard thing to replace that, but our role as teachers was only ever one aspect of our overall identity. And I think too often when you're actually in work, you focus a little bit too much on that. We've still got career aspirations. This is one of the things that we're doing as part of our early retirement to keep that drive and that sense of purpose.
Yep, we started out doing YouTube mainly because we wanted to learn a new life skill. We wanted a sense of purpose keeping us busy, something to do with our time.
We wanted to document our journey, and that word is much overused, but yeah, our journey into early retirement. And we really wanted to put ourselves out there in terms of being on the edge of our comfort zone, because to be quite honest, it's something that absolutely terrified us both when we went into this.
And being teachers and being quite driven career-wise, actually, we've quite enjoyed doing YouTube and we've quite enjoyed the rewarding feeling that it gives us. So, yeah, we've decided that we will just keep pursuing it now.
We were always active believers in lifelong learning, and this is just one example of it. So we've had to learn video editing, we've had to learn presentation skills, we've had to learn a whole host of things that we never came across in our previous life. And you know, that extends to what we try and do every single day. I think it's well documented on the channel that I'm really embarrassed about my lack of linguistic skills, and I'm plugging away at Duolingo French so that I can try and improve my language skills.
And we used to talk a lot as teachers to our pupils that every day is a learning day and that you are always learning new things. For me, with the house renovations, took to doing a bit of needlecraft. I've made the curtains that are behind us. I'm in the middle of making bunting and learning new skills that way. And we do find lots of little things, projects that keep us going.
So as well as sort of career type goals and as well as learning type goals, one of the other things that we absolutely have now got time to focus on is relationships. We've got more time for each other, which we never really had.
No, we didn't. Both teachers, and our daughter was a pole vaulter, and I used to have to drive to Manchester 4 nights a week for her training. We just didn't see each other, did we?
No, and that is just so welcoming in the fact that we know that even before we get to statutory retirement age, that we've got that time together, and we would never have been able to get that time if we'd have been working.
And we actually now get a lot more quality time with our children. We've been in Cheshire this weekend, spending time with our daughter. We've been to stay with my mum. We stayed with Luke last weekend, our son. Yeah, we just have lots of time for our family now.
And then there's also the opportunity that you obviously lose that daily contact with your work colleagues, but those people that are friends then get the opportunity to have quality time with you away from work. And that's something that we've tried to work really hard on in terms of making ourselves available to our friends.
Another opportunity our early retirement has given us is to really concentrate and work on our health and well-being, particularly our mental health, just being able to do things for ourselves. Thinking about our diet. We've just recently been doing a reset from November to make sure we get back on track with that.
And also just investing in our physical health, in the fact that we are getting older, but we've now got the time to invest actually in ourselves and our own health rather than just trying to chase the dollar through employment. So I guess on the one hand, when you do retire, you do lose that sense of identity and that sense of purpose through working. But what you actually gain is a newfound focus actually on you as individuals and you as a couple. And it's something that has been really enlightening to us over the course of the last few months in particular.
And it's something that we've really, really enjoyed. We've been retired for 18 months now, and our lives are so much better. A big question we get asked by lots of our followers, and certainly by our family, is you must be getting bored now. You've had 18 months where you're not working. Surely you're ready to do something. You're ready to go back to work. But we really aren't.
One of the things that we do very differently as a couple, but I think we have the same sort of goals, is really try and focus on a daily basis on making sure that we find those moments of fulfillment that really do make the day rewarding. And as I say, we do that in very, very different ways. I am a complete systems-driven person. I'm into routines, I'm into habits. And I really enjoy at the start of every day sitting down and thinking about where I'm going to find those good moments in the day that are going to really give me that sense of purpose. And it all comes down to selective attention. The perfect example of that is if you've ever bought a car, as soon as you then drive that car around the streets, you suddenly realize there are so many other cars of the same make that you never really realized, but you are now attending to it. So I try and start my day by thinking forward, thinking about where I'm going to find those moments of fulfillment, and then I'm more likely to notice them when they actually happen. Jackie has a different way.
Yeah, I'm not a planner. I don't write things down. I don't particularly thrive or enjoy having systems that I need to work towards, but I do mull things over. So I will have sort of had a good night's sleep and I'm lying there in bed thinking, well, what are we going to do today? You know, why are we going to get our sense of purpose today? Whether it be that we've planned to go out on a hike. Richard laughs because I never keep a diary. I don't write anything down, but I always know what we're going to do and where we're going to have a bit of fun in each day.
And I think that's where we've found a bit of a middle ground in the fact that we are at such almost polar opposites of that sort of organisation that we are finding a happy middle ground. And Jackie definitely chills me out, and I'd like to think that I'm pulling her a little bit towards the more organised way, but it is that happy medium. And there is no right answer to that. But I think if you do start your day by looking forward to your day and thinking about where you are going to achieve that sense of purpose in early retirement, that's a really good starting point.
And we are both really positive people. We always find the positive thing that's going to happen in a day. We are definitely glass half full people, not glass half empty. We know we're going to have a good time.
Which leads us on to the next point, which gives us in early retirement the ultimate freedom that we didn't necessarily have in work, because we get the opportunity to choose the people that we surround ourselves with. And we know from experience that in the workplace, you don't always get that opportunity to choose the people that you have to work with. To put it simply, we just try and surround ourselves with like-minded people who are really positive, who see the best in life and in experience, and keep that positive outlook. One of the things we always used to joke about in the work environment is that you could always spot certain types of people, and I made it my life's purpose to try and avoid those people. So we affectionately had BMWs, which are bitches, moaners and whiners. And we also had cave people, people who complain about virtually everything. And those people are a bit of a drain. And I think if you're not careful in early retirement, sometimes those people can creep into a retired life and influence the way that you think.
Part of our retired life, we've made a conscious effort that we don't particularly watch TV. We avoid watching the news because it's just full of negative news mainly, and we choose to just pick the highlights that we want to listen to.
And social media as well, where I think we have become much more selective in what we allow into our lives, because sometimes, as Jackie says, the news can be terribly negative, and likewise social media can be terribly negative, and we just want positivity in our life. The way we see it is that retirement is the next phase of our life. It's nothing to be depressed about, it's nothing to be worried about. It is an absolute gift that we want to grasp with both hands every single day and get the most out of it.
And we do see it as a gift. We know we're incredibly lucky and incredibly privileged to be in the position that we are in, that we could retire at 51 and have that freedom to explore and travel and indulge ourselves in what we want to do.
And probably linked with that, and going a little bit off piece because I wasn't planning this, was a conversation that we had when we were in America with a thru hiker, hippie. And he was an ex-soldier, and he was so wise in his advice to us and his advice about life. And he said that we'd all done our societal dues, and we made that payment to society by educating the youth and doing our job for 30 years. And now it's time for us.
And we're going to make the most of that time. And so far, we have made the most of that time. A very obvious way that viewers will know is that we fill our time with our love of travel. It was the main reason that we wanted to retire so early. And we're not going to make any apologies about that. We called ourselves Early Retirement Wanderlust because that's what we wanted to do. And we are so lucky that we bought our campervan when we did, and it just gives us that freedom to get away whenever we want.
So then the last thing we try and do each and every day is to just be patient in our early retirement. There are so many things that we want to do, and the more we think about our bucket list of activities, the bigger that list gets.
Yeah, we never seem to have a bad day because we never have the high expectations of what a day's going to be, but we just live life for every moment and just enjoy what we do. It feels like we've rambled quite a bit, but we just wanted to get across how we keep our sense of purpose, how we try and keep ourselves and that boredom never creeps in.
And one of the things that we're planning on doing as we come towards the end of the year is thinking about next year. And what we want to do is to try and do a future video on some of our aims and aspirations for next year and how we see our early retirement going next year, because it's really important to have that sort of rough idea of where we'd like to take it. I'm not going to say a plan. But as Jackie points out to me quite regularly, it doesn't really matter.
Nope, just go with the flow, be flexible and just enjoy what we're doing for now.
So that's it. Thanks ever so much.
Bye.
Bye.